Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Creeping back into The Local Show with my favorite creep, Steve Roberts. I'm Tom Soccocio Jr., and I'm the creative director over here at Zoey Advertising. And there you go.
I was supposed to comment, and I'm just going to let it go, Tom.
You don't have to comment.
You're right. Did you call me a creep?
Yes, I did.
Okay, just to be clear.
You don't have to comment.
Thank you.
I think people pretty much know that.
Thank you, Pumpkinhead.
We're on YouTube. You can check us out on YouTube and see exactly how we look. We've dressed up nicely for the Halloween festivities.
No, we haven't.
Shh, I was trying to get people to go over to the YouTube channel.
We were having a conversation yesterday here about the early Zoom calls 3-4 years ago.
Yes.
You know, where Joe, who's on the team, we were like, Joe, get a blanket.
Yeah, he would have his underwear.
Yeah, he denies it, but it was like, Joe. People would show up and like, it was always 8 o'clock, and people kind of happy.
He was in his boxers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's my pleasure to bring on the show again, Matt Major, and probably your pleasure too, I would imagine. He's the founder of Your Local IT Department. How are you, Matt?
I'm doing good, guys. Thanks for having me again.
Well, Your Local IT Department, how long have you been doing that business?
This particular company is only a few years old, but I've been in the industry. I've been in the IT business for close to 30 years, as crazy as that sounds.
So if a young person asks you what a mainframe is, what would you tell them? How would you describe a mainframe?
Well, I don't know that many young people are asking me that question, Tom.
Tom, it's the one that holds the largest photo on the wall.
No.
You know what's funny is back in the day, that old mainframe model, that's the way computers started, right? You had this one massive computer that took up a whole room, and every terminal in the building was just a screen and a keyboard. It worked off that mainframe. And then we got away from it. We got to the PC, right? The personal computer with IBM, the laptops, everything we have these days.
Yep.
But now we're going sort of back to the mainframe model with the cloud. That's what that is.
Oh,
it's a centralized machine, and all of ours are, you got these Chromebooks that are very low-powered computers, but they access, and all the processing power happens on a server somewhere. So we're almost back to that, even though nobody uses that term anymore.
We had a question from a guest here. It said, is the mainframe, is the cloud the Antichrist?
Oh, no. That's crazy.
Okay. No. Everything's there. Our life is there, right?
The cloud is just somebody else's computer. That's the long and short of it.
Yeah. Now, Matt's whole idea behind the business is that he is your local IT department, and IT can mean a lot of things. It can mean your phones. It can mean your the way people secure their information, right? Things like that. So you deal with security.
Almost everything electronic these days. It used to be I started out in this business and I was the computer guy and I worked on computers, and that was enough to like a mainframe. Everybody knew what you were talking about. Today the term in business is IT, which is information technology is what that's shortened for. But it's come to become, like you said, literally everything. All these things, security cameras, door locks, elevators, all are things that are now on a network that we are tasked to maintain. So we need to get into all of those worlds as just a matter of
so when someone screams,
the job.
Fix it, the IT, it's because there's a problem.
Right.
I mean, do people just wake up and go, I'm thinking I need more RAM? They probably don't think that unless there's an issue.
In theory, yeah. That's usually what happens. Yeah, it's very. In many cases, it can be very reactive, and that's what happens with a lot of people in this industry. They're in sort of what they call the break fix model, where just like a plumber, they come when something is broken. Right. Our model is slightly different in that when we become your total IT department, we've got a handle on things in theory before they break, ideally to prevent them from breaking. Doesn't mean that nothing ever will, but we try to have a more kind of complete approach to what we've got going on and give people a better experience all around, not just when it's an emergency.
Well, you know, and what's cool about having somebody like you in your company in your back pocket is that you can ask questions all the time and not make some mistakes. I think I made a costly mistake, you know, in that I do production, you know, for a living, right? And so I went and got a laptop computer, and I thought, well, I'm going to get the highest processing power, and I'm going to get the a video card inside it that is the top of the line because I do a lot of video production.
That makes sense,
too, right?
Sure.
Well, what I didn't know, and I do a lot of research. I think I'm pretty knowledgeable in that space. However, I didn't realize that the GPUs, the graphic processing unit, in a laptop is different, even though it has the same name. And you know, so you can have a NVIDIA, 3080 in a laptop is not as powerful as a 3080 that's in a desktop.
Yeah,
considerably, like 30%, 40%.
If you see those high-end video cards, you see they're literally $300-400 a piece just for the card.
Oh,
when you see it, it itself is the size of a laptop.
Absolutely.
So you can understand that when they try to jam that into a much smaller package, it's not going to be quite as powerful.
But if I would have had somebody like you, like I'm running a company, right, and I want to get a bunch of computers, he may have said, you know what, here's the difference that you're dealing with the laptop.
Well, and I mean, Tom, you went to school for this stuff.
Well, I did do a little of that too. Yes.
This is your world. Mm-hmm. But you would still lean on someone like Matt.
Absolutely.
As a company. Is that what people do? Even though they have insider people, they still...
That's exactly what we do. That's one of the things that I think sort of differentiates us is that because we are sort of proactive, we're there all the time. So we have boots on the ground. When we are somebody's full IT department, we have people in your building on a regular basis making rounds, checking in, not just when something goes wrong.
Sure.
And that type of just being around for questions like that, that question might not be something that would, you know, raise itself to the level of you putting in a support request or anything like that. But you see one of our folks in the hall, you might go, hey, I got a question about this laptop I'm looking into.
Right.
In that type of service and support, we find not just for personal questions, but for things going on in the business is just a huge advantage for us to be there, not only when you call, but to kind of have our finger on what's happening in the business.
And I would imagine you have different levels of IT help, right?
Sure.
You know, you could be all in, or you could be on a consultant basis, or
absolutely,
or a fix-it basis, right?
Yeah. We we kind of talk about the complete where we do it all, but we do everything underneath as well. Mm-hmm. So. Our services are completely tailored to what the client, the customer needs. So it, depends on what's the best fit. We don't walk in and go, you must do this, and this is the only way to go, and this is the only price. And it's the whole idea is to be of value to you.
So the in-house, so right now, if you weren't here, I'd say, Tom, how do we deal with this? Or Brad, how do we deal with this? How are the inside people not like, oh, they're bringing in someone from the outside? Oh, they hate us. I can't believe isn't there a little of that going on with these companies or no?
Sometimes it depends. So in the last couple of weeks, we've engaged with companies that have just recently, specifically, we've had some that in that situation. In one was we came in and they were a little apprehensive because the folks weren't really given a heads up necessarily from management. But once they were, oh, you're here to help us. In the other place, the kind of not management members of the team are the ones who are bringing us in because they want help and they want to offload some things. So,
that's got to feel good.
Absolutely.
That's got to feel good. So you got the insider people saying, okay, we got this part. Can we work as a team to the greater end here?
And that's the reality. The people that see that, there's more than enough work for everybody. So generally, unless they're sort of insecure for other reasons, they're happy to have us with us.
So if anybody's got a company, maybe they got 8 employees, maybe they got 80, maybe they got 300, whatever. They can have a conversation with you about how they can get things running smoother, better. So maybe not have to wait till it breaks. Or if it's broken, 333-0999.
That's it.
That's a lot of threes and nines. So 333-0999. Tom, that's the big area code 315. Yes. LocalITdepartment.com. Did I get that right?
That's it.
So
I would encourage people to give him a call and get your IT in the right direction. Thank you, Matt, and you have a great rest of the day.
Thanks, guys.
All right, coming up next, we're going to talk with Julie Fleck. She's a senior care advisor over at Care Patrol. We'll learn all about their business next on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.